Today's episode of the More You Know podcast is brought to you by CrowdQuestion, a brand new social communication platform focused on connecting crowds to bring everyone closer to their community, as well as enhancing any occasion. Rather than being a social media platform focused on content and advertising, they're focused on communication and connection. Learn more about the platform and download the app free at crowdquestion.com.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The More You Know podcast.
Today I want to elaborate on aspects of principles that Stephen Covey discusses in First Things First. There are life principles that apply to everyone, and regardless of who you are, they'll provide immense value to your life by being aware of them and applying them to your life. They are a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as a foundation, or in metaphorical terms, building blocks. Life principles can be used to excel in various pursuits, and they can be applied to most any pursuit. And with all this being said, you must obviously understand what principles are in order to utilize them. So I now want to break down common misconceptions of what principles are, and things that principles aren't, so you can have a better understanding of what principles are. When it comes to talking about principles, it's important to know what we aren't talking about. So first, principles aren't values. What it comes down to is values will not bring quality of life results unless we value principles. The effort you put into pursuits must be based on practical realities that produce the result. They can't just be simply based on your values. Next, second, principles aren't practices. In our pursuits, we tend to seek security in practices, or in other words, specific prescribed ways of doing things. But practices vary based on what you're pursuing. The power of principles is that they're universal and timeless. And finally, third is principles are not religion or spirituality. And with this being said, I do want to note that religion and spiritual outlets can include principles in their teachings, but this is not always the case. Because principles deal with meaning and truth, and at the end of the day religion and spirituality surrounds perspective, they're slightly different. No matter who you are, you can find immense value by instilling principles in your life. These principles are fundamental truths that apply to everyone in all pursuits, and they're true realities which quality of life is based upon. In the long run, they'll create happiness, and they deal with processes of growth and change. And by being aware of and applying principles, you can cultivate an incredible quality of life, which goes hand in hand with making a tremendous impact in this world and crafting a life of significance. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes. Leave a review. Follow the podcast on social media at More You Know Pod. And sign up for CrowdQuestion to ask me questions about the episode. Again, thank you for listening as we propel through podcasting with the More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The More You Know podcast.